Welcome to the webinar. It's really good to see everyone joining. We've got heaps of people still joining the webinar. It's good to see the people that have got their cameras on. Thank you very much for turning your cameras. It's always nice to see my friends on camera. And if I don't see you on camera, I prefer to have a coffee with you in the near future. But thank you very much for joining tonight. I'm really excited about listening to Ed go through what we've been doing in the last little while, and especially the new precious metal bundle that we've all had access to for the last week and a bit. I love the precious metal bundle. It does give people a secure way of understanding that value has changed, and getting access to this precious metal bundle has really changed the game for Australia. It's changed the game for the world, and it certainly has moved Dacxi out of the league of any other exchange that I've had contact with. So I'm very grateful for what Ed's done over the last 3 years, a bit over 3 years now. We've been talking crypto and playing cryptocurrency on the Dacxi exchange. So I want to welcome Ed, and I know a lot of you people know him really well, but for those who don't, Ed Ludbrook is the owner and founder of the Dacxi Global Exchange. And the rollout of the Dacxi ecosystem around the world will revolve completely about what we talk about tonight, and how we talk about cryptocurrency to our family, friends, and people all over the world. So welcome, Ed. Thank you very much for the friendship that we've developed over the last 5 years, and I really appreciate that. And I think you're doing an amazing job. If I could see into the future like you do, I'd be financially free. Oops, I've taken your advice. I am. Welcome, Ed.
It's a pleasure. How are you? Look, I really appreciate your comments. It's a different environment that you can actually see behind me. If it's a little bit blurry, it's because normally I do these in the office, but the alarm went off. Alarm went off, so I had to, because it's pretty late in New Zealand. It's 11 o'clock, so I waited around for 25 minutes, and would you believe the fire truck didn't arrive for 25 minutes? So I said, "Oh, look at this!" He just went back into the building, grabbed my stuff, and came out here. So, look, it's fantastic, and look, the purpose behind tonight is I don't really want to talk very much actually about the new precious metal bundle. It's really simple what we do. What I actually want to do is just give you a quick framework around the thinking behind this. Okay, and also for those of you, this is being recorded. For those of you that watch this, whether you're involved in Dacxi, I actually would like people who are relatively new to our world to understand what we're doing, okay? And to get a feel for the mindset behind this product area, and for them to actually get some ideas of talking to people. We're at a point in the development of not just the company Dacxi, but it's actually the marketplace. The marketplace. I used to always use the saying, you got to be in the right place at the right time, right? Right place at the right time. I actually wrote a book that sold 1.4 million copies in 20 languages, and it was all based on being in the right place at the right time. If you actually look at the success of people, I have a background in studying what creates successful companies. I've advised countless organizations and individuals around the world. And it's always been very much around the saying, are you in the right place at the right time? And as I was saying to my staff, I had a global meeting this morning, and I was just explaining to them around this concept of being in the right place at the right time. But I said, that's all very well, but the actual saying is you need to be in the right place at the right time with the right company. And then you have to get off your ass and go into massive action. And what happens is that people get in the right place at the right time with the right company, and then sit there and wonder why the riches and fortunes and joy of the world doesn't come flooding to them as they sit on their backside and watch more Home and Away. And And what we're learning is right now, we as a company have talked about how the market is going to evolve. It's going to get to a point where it'll go into what's called exponential growth. And the key thing is to be at that point when an industry and a company goes into critical mass. And look, as Squid was talking about, the crypto market has now breached what are the upper levels. Phil was there before, Phil and Andy. These guys have trading backgrounds. They know that when you go the higher highs and it hits a higher highs, and then, you know, we're now at a point in Australia of it's breached 20,000 Australian dollars. As we haven't seen these levels since early 2018. Yeah, since the last boom, and therefore it's highly likely that this market has now finally going into its exponential side. Now, that coincides obviously with what's happening in the economy. And it has nothing to do whether Trump or Biden succeeds. It has nothing to do with most of these things. It's just simply an economic reality that the markets are highly developed. And what it does is it creates a unique economic opportunity. And that's why when we were looking at how we evolve Dacxi as a company, what was the sort of markets we want to get into? Okay. And the logic of doing that was saying, hey, look, we've got this program called the Blue Chip Bundle. All of the information that's come out recently confirms that what we're doing is right, as far as offering these blue chip coins, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin. I was looking at Bitcoin today. Bitcoin is moving ahead. The other coins are not. Why? Because that's what happens when markets really start to rock and roll. All the focus is on the top coins, not the 70 coins of the story that was being told before. The focus is just on the top, on those top coins, which is not surprising. Those are the coins that PayPal said they're going to focus on. Those are the coins that I was having a discussion with the guy in charge of the crypto program for Southeast Asia's largest bank called DBS a couple of days ago. Those are the coins that they're going to focus on. It's where the money's going. And so what that means is that it's not surprising that our blue chip bundle is doing so well. And what it does mean is that we don't really need to focus on anything else in that space. And we don't want to distract people into all these other coins, no matter what you think about them. And so when I was looking at that, for us, it's a matter of saying, hey, look, as far as the customer is concerned, as far as the wealth builder, what is the right product to recommend to them? Because we have the best wealth building product in crypto in the world. We know that, okay? So the key thing obviously is in wealth protection. And when we do that, we look at this crypto market. And the challenges for people is that if you are in the right place at the right time, you need to have the confidence to talk to other people. Would you agree? Yeah? You have to have the confidence to talk to other people. And for that, it's just really getting understanding of what to say. It's not very complex, but you just need some ideas of what you could say, and then you just need to go and try it. And so tonight is about saying, okay, what are we doing and how could I talk to people? Even if you're super new, even if you're just a customer with Dacxi, well, you're not just a customer, you're really important to us. The question is that you are going to get into a conversation, whether it's at a barbecue, whether it's at a bar, whether it's at work, whether it's at just having a coffee with a friend, you're going to end up with a situation and you just want to know, how do I start that conversation? What do I throw into those conversations? That's what I want to do. And I'm actually going to be asking, there's some people here with some real experience of talking to people. And I'm going to also ask them to sort of chip in and just tell me what they're saying and what people are asking. Because, you know, as I said, it's you can be in the right place at the right time with the right business, but for you really to go into massive action, for you really to take advantage of this, everything is about confidence. And so I hope I can help you do that today. And so what I want to do is I just obviously want to share a screen with you. I'm going to do that now. And so I just want to go through a few slides first, just to give you an appreciation of what we're doing. So, okay. Cool. All right. So look, you know, I called this webinar, Why Do People Buy Precious Metals Now? The important word is what? Now. Okay. Why are they buying it now? The reality is that precious metals is always about being a safe haven. It's about being a wealth protection. Now, people are going to tell you, oh, well, you know, I think silver's going to boom. I think gold's going to boom. The economy's going to blah, 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 blah. It's, you know, they go on. You'll always get those guys. But the reality, precious metals, people buy gold, silver, and now platinum for the reason it's a safe haven. It has been a safe haven for centuries, in fact, millennia, for thousands of years. People have used especially gold and silver as a safe haven. And this is a chart of the S&P 500, you know, the big stock exchange index in the United States versus gold in the last recession. So in the GFC, you know, the global financial crisis, so this is 08 through to the middle of 09. What you see there, do you see how the orange line is actually the stock market? Got that? So the orange line is the stock market and the purple line is gold. And do you understand what I mean? If for those people that were smart enough to switch out of shares into gold, it's not that gold rocked. This is my point. It's not as if gold rocked, it's just the other ones dropped. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about? Because if you look at precious metals as the next big boom thing, you're crazy. You go into Bitcoin, you buy Dacxi. Those are what the ones with the real potential. And it's gold is used as a safe haven, okay? And you use it when you think that times are going to get a bit choppy, okay? And that is the NASDAQ. Look, the point is that all the talk is about tech. When they talk about the stock market doing so well, it's not about BHP shares, it's all about all pay. Would you agree? If you read the newspapers, it's all about the tech firms, fintech firms, those sort of things. And it's all about the NASDAQ. So the NASDAQ is all about Tesla and Netflix and Google and Apple and all these organizations. And they're absolutely rocking, but they're driving that to a record high. Look at that. Do you really think that this is going to keep going like this? And when it corrects, you can see it's up at nearly $12,000. The NASDAQ's at up $12,000. You can see that around 2009, it actually dropped. 2009, great financial crisis, it was at 2,000 and now it's at 12,000. So it could drop by 50% and still be 2 times what it was 10 years ago, which would be incredible. And the point is that correction in the marketplace, if you don't think it's happening, you seriously are on drugs, okay? And so what that means is just mentally, you have to accept this idea that all markets correct, okay? It's not negative, it just always happens. And so when that happens, some people will be looking for safe havens, and everyone really should. Not because they think gold is going to go from $2,500 or what is it, 2,600 Aussie today. It's not because they think it's going to go to 5,000 or 10,000 or 15,000. It might do, but the reality is that it's better than having your money either in the NASDAQ or actually in the bank. And so I just pulled out a few of the recent headlines. You know, the Reserve Bank, you know, you've got the Reserve Bank there going on about Reserve Bank may cut interest rates to very close to zero. What does that mean? Reserve Bank of Australia slashes interest rates to 0.1%. It's crazy, isn't it? You know, Bank of Ireland, a really funny one was Bank of Ireland. The Bank of Ireland was saying that they were going to charge insurance companies 0.6% because they all had more than 100 million euros on deposit. And they were sick of paying the bill to the European Bank for holding their cash. Okay? The crazy thing here is simply the competition for gold is not really shares. The problems over shares and that sort of stuff is, you know, they'll correct, but the real issue, what people worry about, is having their money on deposit in Australia, negative interest rates, nothing. And what does it have to do? What does precious metals have to do to really compete with cash? Bugger all. 1%? 1% over 5 years, or some rubbish like that. Does everyone understand what I'm talking about? It's just simply a matter of ensuring that happens. And is it going to change? Well, you know, they're all printing money like crazy. And how are banks going to pay back the money? The way they do that is some sort of inflation, and it just doesn't look as though it'll happen. And so when we talk about precious metals, it's about diversification. It's, you know, how do you protect your money if they keep printing it? What do you do about those discussions? And what I'm telling you now are the sort of things that you raise when you're talking to people, depending on who they are. Do you understand that? So if people are really into shares, you can talk shares. If people are not into shares, but they have cash in the bank, you talk cash. Okay? Because the reason why people take action is not for your reason, it's for their reason. Okay? And their reason has to have pain. Okay? And if they don't feel pain, then they don't take any action. And too often people talk about things that are painful to them, but the other person doesn't give a crap because it's not relevant to them. The fact that you think that the fact that the NASDAQ is going to, or the ASX is going to drop, they don't give a damn. But as soon as you start mentioning deposit rates at the Westpac, they start crying. That's when you know that there's an issue, because the solution is actually always pretty simple, because there aren't many solutions at the moment. You know, they literally are either crypto or precious metals. And people will only put so much money into crypto, okay? But they'll go, well, that's enough. But as soon as you mention precious metals, it's a different asset class. Does everyone understand what I mean by that? It's a different asset class. And when you have a look what we're doing with precious metals, all you need to understand is that to own the physical precious metals, there are 5 major issues. It's very expensive to buy and sell, literally up to 10% on both sides of it. Secondly, it's a real hassle to buy it, to store it, to travel with it. The size of it, you have to buy it in bars or fingers or coins or whatever, you know, whatever you need to buy. It's a hassle to store. It's the security or insurance that you have on your precious metals, and the transportation, you know, to and from where you're buying it and where you're storing it. It's always a hassle. And if you know anyone that's into physical precious metals, they will always tell you their stories on, oh, my vaults cost all of this. You know, we've got, the Indians are really into this. We've got Indians working for Dacxi, and you talk to these guys and they talk about their, you know, how much they have to spend on their personal bank vaults, how much it costs to actually go and go to these places and buy the precious metals, the gold, the silver, to be able to do that. So look, those physical issues are really real, and all we are doing as a company is looking at that and solving those problems solving those problems of owning the physical one in a way that's in a portfolio. It makes more sense. You don't want to just own gold. You want to own those three precious metals of gold, silver, and platinum. And we're able to do that through this new technology. That's all. This is a new form of technology that allows you to own a digital form, digital rights to physical metals. You are buying the metals. Just understand this. This is not a sort of new crypto thing, new crypto concept, okay? It is a digital representation of the physical. You can redeem your tokens into the physical. Does everyone understand that? Okay? It's really important you understand that, because it's been designed that way. It is a hassle for us to do it that way, but we can do that because of this new technology. We understand tokenization, and lots of things are going to be tokenized in the future. Okay, and through this relationship that we can now have with the Perth Mint, which Aussies understand, it's the world's largest gold refiner. It's owned and guaranteed by the West Australian government. You know, we will independently verify that every token that's issued is 100% backed by the physical equivalent, and we will ensure that that there will always be an ability for people to buy and sell the tokens. Does everyone get that? It's not really rocket science. And the point is that so long as you understand that this is an alternative to owning the physical, actual physical metal, and it's just simpler, easier, and better to do that. Because the reality is precious metals is something which if I've learned one thing, it's like freedom. It was the best example I've ever got. But precious metals, if you own precious metals, it's like having a freedom, because precious metals have always fallen outside of the normal money world. Did you know that precious metals was owning gold was illegal in America in the 70s? Do you know that? When Nixon took the US dollar off the gold standard, they made it illegal to actually own gold. And the reason is because governments don't want you to have that freedom outside their economic system. And so for history has always said that owning of precious metals is more than just a safe haven. It's a feeling of freedom. And I tell you what, obviously I was one of the first people to actually buy precious metals in this bundle thing. And it's really cool. And every day, one of the great joys that I have every day, do you know what I have to do? I have to buy a whole lot of gold, silver, and platinum. I'm the guy, obviously, who has the things. And it's just a buzz. It's fantastic. I'll have 9 ounces of gold, please. And I'll have this of silver. And it's really, really cool. It's do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? And it's that emotional freedom that is going to attract a lot of people to buying this stuff. Okay, and it's a great thing. And so for those of you that don't know about these things, we have this fact sheet. I hope you guys have it. You can download it from the portal, which has more information on that. But the real question, as I said, I wanted to really talk to people was, how do you talk to people about precious metals? How do you raise the subject? Okay. And the funny thing is, it's not some big secret. Okay. It's not like some thing that you need to be like, people who are in the insurance world, or maybe in property, or they may have some other business that they want to talk to people about. I tell you, the cool thing about precious metals is you can just be really open and upfront. Do you know what I mean? It is something that people like talking about, okay? And so what you do is you can ask questions of people. You know, do you think the economy is going to go into recession? Yeah. Ask them the question. Do you think? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, so what do you think is going to happen to your money? And then just through those questions, you're going to end up being able to just say, have you, you know, things like, have you ever bought any gold? Have you ever bought any silver? And the guys, you know, when I think about, I now have for about 3 months talked to people about precious metals, because I've never really been involved with precious metals. Got to understand. But I've now have about good 3 months talking to people about it. And it must be the easiest subject in the world to talk about. Okay? You know, it's just easy to talk about. And so when I look at all of this, I just think that this is just got to be the ultimate. It's just got to be the ultimate thing to talk about. Would you agree? You know, I'm putting a question out to you now. When I look at what people, how I've talked to people, you can ask people questions about what they think is going to happen in the recession, what they think that'll happen with interest rates, what they think will happen to gold, what they think will happen to other precious metals, what they think will happen to the property market, what do they think they happen to all these things. And all of it comes back to, and to say, have you ever thought of buying any precious metals? And the people that I've talked to, people want to do it, but they don't know how to do it. Or they think, when they think about how to do it, they think it's a hassle. You know, they go, oh, you know, what do I have to do? Buy a big gold bar? Do you know what I mean? And then stack it away. So this is all I really wanted to say, okay? Because fundamentally, this is a really simple subject. The key thing for you is to actually go out there and talk to people about it and get the feedback, even if it's just for you to become a customer, even if it's just to you. If you haven't bought some precious metal through Dacxi, you deserve a slap, all right? Because it's like so simple to be able to do. It's a couple, you know, a minimum is a couple of $100. Like, who cares, all right? Most people are buying a few $1,000s worth. And don't forget, this is stuff you need to, you know, you should have. It's the question is that, what do you say to people? And I find when I was thinking about this, it's such an important concept, but in reality, it's just so easy to do. Would you agree? Yeah. So I'd like to ask some of you guys, the guys who have actually talked, and girls, obviously, the people who have actually talked to people about precious metals, I would love to hear your feedback. What do you say? What do people say to you? What questions do they ask you? And
I might start off that conversation.
All right.
Look, I find it really interesting when you talk to people about what they've got in the bank. Now, I have a corporate bank account with Dacxi. And of course, up until very recently, I've been buying bundles. And now I'm buying precious metals. I think bundles are going to grow more than precious metals personally, but a lot of people don't think that crypto's for them, but precious metals is definitely for them. So what I say to them is, how much has your money grown in the last 12 months by just putting it in a bank? And all of them say, well, it hasn't grown at all. And I had a pretty hard conversation with a guy this afternoon that just put in $50,000 into a term deposit. And the 23-year-old whippersnapper financial advisor for the bank said, look, I think that 0.6% is very reasonable for you on that deposit. That's 0.6%, not 6%. No, I said to him honestly, I said, do you think that gold, silver, and platinum will go up more than 0.6% in the next 12 months? And he goes, well, definitely the precious metals are going to go up more than that. So, well, why are you doing a term deposit with a bank? Because we have precious metals. Just buy a bundle with precious metals. You believe it'll go up more than 0.6%. So why are you doing a term deposit with a bank and you can't touch it for 12 months? If you buy a Dacxi precious metal bundle, by your own words, it's going to go up more than 6.6% in the next 12 months. But you can cash it out without penalty within 12 months.
0.6% less tax.
Well, and inflation as well. We might add the inflation as well. But, you know, that for him, it was a light bulb moment. He went, well, why am I doing what I'm doing when I can buy precious metals that I think will go up more than 0.6% in the next 12 months, and there's no penalty for taking any money out of that bundle in the next 12 months? So who do you know that's got a term deposit that is coming up or has expired that is going to get less than 1% interest on that term deposit? Why wouldn't they buy a precious metal bundle? If they don't like Bitcoin, that's understandable. They know nothing about Ethereum and Litecoin because they don't like Bitcoin, that's understandable. But they do understand the power of precious metals.
Yeah. So what can I ask other people what's their experience? Those people who have actually talked to people about it. I know that this was promoted as a webinar. It was a one-way thing, but I would certainly like to know the experience of other people.
I say things like, have you got your share of the new way of buying silver and gold at the moment? Do you know anything about that? Have you ever thought about owning silver and gold?
Because I reckon most people have thought about it.
Yeah, and that's a good. I only got this week. I've had nobody saying no. What are you talking about? How does that work?
Like, has anyone had any negatives? Because look, I have not had one negative in 3 months now. Not one. Not one person has ever turned around and gone anything other than, really? Okay. Wow. And what it tells me is that everyone can do that. In fact, I tell you what, the response I actually get is more of a, oh, really? Fascinated. Do you know what I mean? It's like one of those, oh, thanks, that's interesting. That's an interesting subject to talk about. Is that the sort of response that you're getting? Okay. Is that, Kim, what about you? Is that the sort of thing that you're getting? It's like, Grant, is that the sort of stuff? I'm asking you questions. It's all very well for me, but you Australians are a bit different.
I just start up a conversation, and very quickly it gets around to the economy, gets around to...
Yeah, they seem to listen to everything I've got to say, sound really impressed, and then do nothing. They say, yeah, and then they try to change the subject when I bring up how about it.
The issue is always, can I just say, the issue is always to find where they're, and it's not a horrible thing, it's just where their pain is.
Yeah.
You understand it? Do you understand it? It's just, you always, when you're always in an area like this, you always have to understand that this is a subject where we are educators. You are always educators, and you're always just turning around and solving problems, okay? If you have in your mindset that you're solving a problem and helping people, then you'll always ensure that next step, which is just turning around and saying, hey, what about it? Why don't you get it? Is always easier. So, sort of, Squid, how do you broach the subject of, once you have that discussion, that people say, oh, what about it?
Yeah, they just say, let me know more, which I do, give them more information, and then I've got to keep going back to them to see what they're going to do. Most of them are on index government pensions, so they don't really feel much pain, although that will probably devalue as well.
Yeah, well, it's the point is that the point is in this space is that this is an area that has a level of security and understanding that is different than the crypto market. Do you understand? Would you agree?
What was that? Say that again.
It's just that this is the area with a level of understanding and confidence that the average person has an understanding. I was yakking to a friend of mine who has he's got about, he just said, oh look, I think he's got a bit of money. He's a very old friend of mine, and he's got a 6-figure amount of cash in his self-managed super fund, and he just doesn't know what to do with it because he doesn't trust the stock market, he doesn't trust the property market. He's going, banks, why bother?
Yeah.
It just sort of sits there. And I said, precious metals, and he got it.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, they've got to counteract the wife as well.
He doesn't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
Oh, look, that's great. So, look, are there any thoughts by people? Fantastic. You guys are brilliant. The whole idea of tonight was I just want to review is just this area that the timing of what we're doing today is fantastic. It literally is about being in the right place at the right time with the right offer. There is a lot of confusion in the marketplace. Let's be honest. You got stock markets and property markets that are surreal. You've got bank situations that are surreal. You've got a lot of people. The weird thing is that you have the conversations with them. They're very concerned about where the market is going, yet it hasn't fallen over yet. It's that horrible feeling, as they say. You're in the car, you can see it going towards the wall. Okay, you can't do anything about it. You're having a good time, and you need to do something about it. And so, look, so that's why when it comes to these precious metals, it's the stuff that a lot of people, we just want to help position themselves. We just want to help them just say, okay, just start getting you positioned. Get some of your cash into these precious metals. Be smart in the way you're doing it, and ensure yourself will set yourself up. It is such a simple area. It's not funny. All we're doing is we're just using this new tokenization technology to allow people to own it simply without the same hassles as if you were buying the underlying physical. Okay. In reality, the sort of, the system we have is actually not a big money earner for the company, but what it is the smart and right product for us to take to our marketplace for them to be able to develop. And so we're about, we're about a couple of weeks into the launch into this area. We're really excited about the results so far. And for us, it's just a matter of helping you feel confident about this. Okay. All right. Well, that's great. I'm just going to stop the recording now.
Just before you do, Ed, I'd like to add a few things to this conversation. Now, look, we all know this precious metal bundle is important for many, many reasons. Now, the last time that we had the ability to own, store, and use a gold-backed currency was taken away from us back in 1944, and then definitely removed 100% back in 1972. Now, I'm not going to go through that stuff now, but that's the realities where we are now. Now, this precious metal bundle has given us back the ability to transfer precious metals between each other very easily, instantaneously, at cost. No fees. So when you think about that, on top of all the other things that this bundle does do to protect us against inflation, protect us against devaluation, to give us some growth in our money that we don't want to put into crypto, even though it is a crypto, but most people will just look at it as like gold, silver, and platinum. That opportunity for us to transact and accept and send gold, silver, and platinum freely, easily, and for free within the Australian exchanges, that's a game changer for everyone that's on this webinar tonight that lives in Australia. And you can thank Ed for giving us that freedom to do that again. I know I really appreciate it. I know over the next 2, 3, 5 years time, more and more of my value will be sent to people through a cryptocurrency, whether it's a traditional cryptocurrency like Bitcoin or a gold, silver, or platinum token is phenomenal. When people understand that there is no way for me to send you gold, silver, or platinum any other way except tokenizing it, then you see the real value of what Ed has created with this precious metal bundle. So, look, I think it has changed the way that I feel about sending money to people, like real money, not Aussie dollars. Aussie dollars is not real money, it's currency. And I've told everyone here before, they need to really watch Mike Maloney, watch the history of money, and really take a big effort in learning about what the difference between money is and currency. Money only goes up in value. Currency only goes down in value. And except for the few people who've got a lot of great hair, most of us have lived in a devaluing currency for our entire life. And as I was talking to someone today, gold was worth $17 100 years ago. And now gold in Australia is worth $2,700, just over $2,000 US for an ounce of gold. I know that the people back 100 years ago compared to the people now actually have to work a lot harder now to earn the money to buy an ounce of gold compared to 100 years ago. A gold would buy a certain amount of products or service 100 years ago per ounce, and it will buy pretty much the same amount of goods and services today. What has changed? What's changed is the currency that we get paid in and how much currency we have to earn to pay for what we need to pay, but gold is very stable. So the precious metal bundle is something that we need to look at very seriously for people that don't trust crypto because of confidence. We have the customer learning area on Dacxi.com under Who Are We? Go to the learn area and learn about the customer learning about cryptocurrency. And if you want to buy some cryptocurrency and become a partner, go to the partner tab of our website, log in with partner as the login, and learn about becoming a partner, which will develop your confidence and knowledge around cryptocurrency so that you can develop true wealth. And what we are doing on the Dacxi platform is developing true long-term wealth, not for you only. It is for your family, for your children, and for your grandchildren. Because the skills that you learn and develop over the next 2 to 3 years, you're going to teach your family these skills. And those kids are going to look at the world in a very different way than when you finished school, how you looked at the world. Our world is very different now, and I'm concerned about my family, my kids, and my grandchildren and how they develop income long-term. So thank you, Ed. Great webinar tonight. I think everyone needs to get into that learning action phase and look at what we have in our banks in a very different way to what we have now. So thank you very much, Ed. Really appreciate it.
That's great. I just have a couple of little announcements that I just wanted to, whilst I'm on here and there's a group of you. There's a couple of things I just wanted to say. We are, just to go on with what Scud was just talking about, we're going to be announcing tomorrow an incentive which is actually all around people going onto the Dacxi.com.au, going on there and going through those first 2 training programs for customers, going through the Getting Started program and going through the Unstoppable program. Because what we want you to do is to understand that the great issue the reason why people don't take this whole crypto area seriously is because they have no confidence in it. Does that make sense? They don't have any confidence in it. And we are the only company in the world with a competence-based training program which tells them exactly what they need to learn and a way of being able to do that, okay? And that course is there, and what you're going to do is you need to sit the 2 tests. If you pass the 2 tests, we're going to give you some DAC coins like we did before. A lot of you have already gone through that program. Go and do it. Go and do them again. Sit the test, and we'll give some DAC coin. The critical thing for us is not that. We just want you to go through the program. You understand? So you're able to, when you talk to someone, you're going to be able to say, does it work? Yes. Is it interesting? Yes. Okay. Does it tell me what I need to know? Yes, it does. Does everyone get it? And so they'll see it in your eyes that you have that confidence. The other thing is I want you to know that the DAC price, the DAC coin price will be going up. It will be announced, and it will be announced in the next couple of days. The price, it will go up it will be going up 20%. Okay? And it will be going up 20%. Because we're in the process. I can't give you any details as far as the whole listing of the coin process, but obviously we're in the guts of organizing all of that. The marketplace is not quite as buoyant as we like, but we've just decided that we're just gonna, it's a long process, so we need to get into that process and get that going. Will there be another price increase after this one? Yes, there will be. It's highly likely that we're going to try and squeeze another one in as well. The reality is the crypto market has grown, is up by more than 100% this year. Ethereum's up more than 200%, Bitcoin's up more than 100%, and we've only increased the DAC coin 57%. We could increase it 50% today, and that would just be up to keep up with the blue chip. In reality, we should be increasing it 100%. But what we'll do is we'll leave that value in the marketplace for it. So we will be announcing that soon. I keep on being asked about this, okay? And the answer is, of course, yes, we are. It's going to happen very soon. We have so many things being launched at the moment. We don't want to wash all of these announcements in there. But the critical things, 3 big things I want you to do. Number 1, you're going to get this incentive to go and sit those 2 courses over the next 5 days, okay? So the key thing is you need to get off your backside and get everyone that you know to go through those 2 programs. It should be super easy for you. Do that, okay? Second thing is obviously the coin price is going to be announced soon. It'll be 20%, just so you know, okay? It's no big surprise. And the last thing is I want you to just go out and talk to people about precious metals and crypto, for God's sake.
Yes, Ed.
All right. Hey, Phil, crypto went up by 20% last month, correct?
Absolutely.
It's crazy.
Beautiful.
Share market, you wouldn't be talking about anything else. But this is even better. All right. So now you are in, whether you like it or not, you are in the right place at the right time with the right everything. If you don't get off your ass, what are you? Crazy. Crazy. Let's just use the word crazy.
I mean, the other thing that Andrew was saying, he was going to say this anyway, go back and talk to every single person you've ever spoken to.
And just do it. They want to hear. They want to hear.
Everyone said no or not sure about crypto.
Everyone wants
silver button.
Can I just answer one thing for someone that asked the question on the chat to me privately? Yep. Now, in 1933, the US government went through and confiscated all the gold off their population at $25 an ounce. And then the week later, they reissued it back to the world at $33 an ounce. But they did take the gold off people. Now, the question was, what happens if the government decides to take all the gold out of the Perth Mint? Now, before that happens, just to answer that particular little question, it's an important question because it scares a lot of people because it has had happened in the past. And we all know that what happened in the past can be repeated. Now, before that happens, you don't think there'll be some type of leaked news that the government is looking at confiscating gold, silver, platinum, anything of value, children, wives, whatever thing you think you value the most, they might confiscate off you. and then give it back to you again. Now, we own a cryptocurrency, right? We know that the precious metal bundle can be liquidated back to cash in a second. So how long do you think it's going to take you to decide that, hang on, my gold is really at risk here? You can cash it in for cash, buy Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, or any other blue chip coin that the Dacxi exchange has got within about 10 seconds. Are they going to steal your gold? Because you don't have gold anymore. You've already taken your assets from something that they potentially may take. And a few people ask me, what if they decide to confiscate all our crypto? Well, they can only confiscate crypto off exchanges that are regulated by the government. And of course, Dacxi is a very regulated, controlled exchange on the exchange. So we're going to hear a rumor that the government's going to confiscate our crypto.
Well, I hope so.
Within seconds, we will all know how to put our coins onto a private ledger. And the government can't do jack about that.
Don't worry about this. Let's not even talk about this.
But people ask these questions.
It ain't going to happen.
It's not going to ever happen.
It ain't going to happen. And if it does, the prices will go absolutely mental. So,
That's right.
You know, so the only thing to learn is to make sure that you have lots of it.
Yeah, and we do have the ability to look after our own currency.
Yeah.
And the Dacxi platform is the best way of looking after your own currency at the moment for people who don't understand 100% of all the intricacies about private security.
Yep.
And that's why I keep all my coins on the Dacxi platform, not on anything else.
Okay,
and now
guys.
I keep all my precious metals there too. So happy days.
Great. Okay, guys. If there's no more questions, it's fantastic to see you all. It is super happy days. You've got literally from now until Christmas. It is literally, last time this happened in 2017 when crypto did this, it absolutely exploded before Christmas. I just want to warn you out. Crypto is an Asian market. They don't have Christmas off. Christmas is a boom time for them. So please take action now.